Okay, good morning. My name is Andres Alabarrieta. Could you tell me your full name, please?
Of course, is Miguel Alejandro Murcia Acevedo.
Okay, and what shall I call you?
You can call me Miguel.
Where are you from, Miguel?
I'm from Colombia.
Okay, and are you a student or do you work?
I am currently a student, but I will be graduating the next year.
Okay, great. Can I check your identification, please?
Of course.
Okay, very well. Okay, now in the first part of the exam, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about your hometown. Do you like your hometown?
Yes, of course, I really do. And as fact, I love my city, and not just because it is the place where I grew up, but also it is an stunning destination where you can find fantastic people and see outstanding views.
Okay. And what's a popular part of your hometown?
A famous place that comes to my mind is one called Lake Chilicote. It is a lake which is surrounded by a large area of trees. And I think the reason why it is so attractive to the people, it is because there is a giant tree in the middle of the lake, and that is a view out of this world is fantastic.
Are there many shops in your hometown?
Yes, there are. Maybe there are too many. Sometimes can be very problematic. There are times when you go to the center of the town, and there is always somebody trying to sell you something. And I guess that that is the job of the salesman. But sometimes it can become very, very annoying.
Okay. Now let's talk about books. Do you like reading?
Yes, yes, I am really into reading books, and not only I am fan of I am fan of consuming books, but not only the traditional ones, but all kinds of tests. To give an example, manga, comics, graphic novels.
Okay. And what was the last book you read?
Let me remember. Recently, I've been looking at a comic which is called "I Hate Everyone." The It's a very hilarious work. It obviously belongs to the genre of comedy, and it's awesome. Every time I read it, I just laugh out loud. And I remember the first time I saw it really blows me over. It's fantastic. I really recommend it.
Okay, thank you. Do you often talk to others about what you read?
Hardly ever. It's something I do once on a blue moon because of many factors. First of all, I really need to know if the person is very attracted to the issues which the book talks about. And on top of that, if I realize the person is not concerned when I talk him about a specific book, I just move on another topic.
Okay. And have you ever given a book as a present?
Of course, I have relatives and friends because for me it's not just a gift, it's not just an object, it's to give a person the opportunity to increase its current knowledge and become smarter, intelligent. And that is to help someone. And the feeling you I get when I help a person is out of this world.
Mm, very well. Would you suggest reading reviews before buying a book?
I had mixed feelings about this. topic because sometimes it could be useful because you could save yourself of reading a test that is very awful. But it could be a problem because you could be losing masterpiece just because person didn't like it, and you're always following the opinion of this person, and you could never develop your own criterion in this
Mhm.
topic of reading.
Yes, you're right. But now let's move on. Let's move on the second part of the exam. I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Before you start, you will have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say, and you make some notes if you want. Do you understand?
Of course.
Okay, so here is a pencil and paper for notes, and here's your topic also. Um, I would like you to talk about a time when you couldn't use your mobile phone. So you give a minute to prepare the topic.
1 minute now.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this. So don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Okay. Can you start speaking now?
But won't you give me 1 minute to prepare?
Yes. Prepare the topic.
Then it's over?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so please start now.
Okay. Uh, I was asked to talk about one moment I couldn't use my cell phone. There are a lot of uh, situations I could mention, but one that really comes to my mind is one time one that happened like 2 years ago. I remember I was cursing a very important subject at the university, and my parents suddenly asked me to accompany them to go to my cousin's wedding. At the beginning, I refused because I had to deliver a guideline, and it was a collaborative work, so I needed to do it with my partners. Um, but they compelled me to exist by telling me that it was an opportunity to chill out and let go of the stress. So at the end, I accepted. The wedding was going to be held at my grandparents' farm that is located very far of the city. Um, it wasn't internet connection, no Wi-Fi, or any signal. Therefore, I lost communication with my colleagues, which had not been a problem because we were supposed to stay there just 1 night. But as a result of the alcohol on that crazy party, one of my cousins just crushed my father's car. So I was very stressed, very worried, and upset because I couldn't use my cell phone. Okay, my cell phone worked, but all my acts were online applications, so they were practically useful by the for the lack of the internet. Then we had to wait for the return of the mechanics because we had to because we couldn't call him because of the lack of signal. After this, I had to explain to my
Okay, Miguel, time's up. Thank you.
okay.
Well, thank you. And a last question. Do you have, or do you often have to stop using your mobile phone?
Of course I have. So, because I got tired of always be all the day looking at a screen.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and now we have been talking about a moment in which you had to stop using your mobile phone. And I would like to ask you some more general questions related to the topic, right? First of all, let's talk about regulation. So, do you think there should be regulations on the use of mobile phones?
As a matter of fact, there are already countries with a very restricted laws about the use of the smartphone. I don't agree with that. For example, China. I think it's not good. It is a lot of respect to the freedom of the people. I understand that the addiction to the cell phone can be very dangerous, but forbidding this and banning this is not the solution to nothing.
Mhm. Well, and what do you think of primary school students owning a mobile phone?
I hate it because it's something really, really dangerous. On my view, imagine there are sometimes that I feel very, very weak about all the information that comes to me. And let's imagine a kid and all the information that he can to be involved, he received, and it could be dangerous for him because we don't know sometimes who is sending him the information and all the danger that it could represent for our children.
Okay, so in your opinion, what minimum age do you think is appropriate for owning a cell phone?
I don't have a clear response to this. It's something very complicated, but I think it will be the moment when you are on sixth grade, you enter to the high school, because that is the moment where you will really need a net of vast information, and that is basically the definition of the internet, or a net of information, and that then is where the guy will have to learn to control it and to use it in his own benefit, and that is where it is going to be very useful and less dangerous because you are going to be bigger and we have the maturity to use it wisely.
Okay, okay. Do you think people depend on mobile phones too much today?
Lately, yes, but that is unavoidable. Practically, all our economy depends on that. We are the economy of the information. It's not something bad or good. It's just our reality. We need to adapt to it.
Okay. One last question before we finish, Miguel. Can you imagine a world without mobile phones?
If I am honest with you, no. As I mentioned before, our economy is based on that, or on the database and the processing of database. We practically depend on our mobile phones and computers to communicate ourselves and sometimes to work. So I think mobiles are have come here to stay with us. So we need to learn how to coexist with them.
Okay. Very well, Miguel. Thank you. That is the finish of the test. Thank you. Thank you.